Very good afternoon, students. Now I am going to demonstrate you about this organ called as liver. Now liver is a large solid organ, quite heavy. Okay, it is a large solid organ which is vase-shaped. You can see the shape of the liver. It is the vase-shaped organ. Now liver is situated in the right upper quadrant of the abdomen. Okay, right upper quadrant of the abdomen, which includes, it occupies the right hypochondrium, the part of the epigastrium and part of the left hypochondrium. So it almost occupies the whole of the right hypochondrium, the epigastrium, and it is also occupies the left hypochondrium. The weight of the liver, as I said that it is the largest organ of the human body, it is around 1600 grams in male and 300 grams in the female. 1300, not 300. It is 1300 grams in the female. So in female it is slightly smaller, okay, in the weight, okay, less in weight, while it is more in case of the male. Now the color of this organ in the living condition is the reddish brown. Okay, it is reddish brown. So this is the liver. We will just learn the external features of the liver and then we will go to the details of the liver. Okay, if you see the liver, okay, it has a surface what is called as diaphragmatic surface, okay, so which is in relation to the diaphragm, okay, because it lies just below the diaphragm in the abdominal cavity. So the in large area which is divided into the various sub surfaces is called as the diaphragmatic surface, okay, and then there is a visceral surface or the inferior surface. So this where I am just tracing my hand is the diaphragmatic surface and this surface is the visceral surface. This is the superior aspect, this is the inferior aspect, this is the left side and this is the right side. So you are seeing the liver from the anterior aspect, okay, from the anterior aspect. Right, let us see this large diaphragmatic surface is subdivided into many surfaces. For example, this is the superior surface of the liver. I hope you can see. This where I am tracing my fingers is the superior surface, this part. And if I forceps ISO, this part is the superior surface which has slight concavity on the top. Okay, that is the superior surface. If I just see it from superior surface, it will look like this. So, okay, this surface is the superior surface of the liver, that surface. Then there is an anterior surface. This surface is the anterior surface of the liver. And then there is a posterior surface. I will turn the liver now just to see the posterior surface. Let us see this surface. This is the posterior surface of the liver where you are seeing that it is part of it is not covered by peritoneum, okay, otherwise the whole liver except this area, okay, except this area in the posterior surface which is called as the bare area of the liver is not covered, otherwise it is smooth and covered by the peritoneum, okay, peritoneum, that is the posterior surface. Then after seeing the superior, anterior, posterior surface, this surface, if I keep it in here, okay, this surface, as I said, it is the right side. So this whole surface, okay, this whole surface is the right lateral surface. Okay, it is. So once again, I will tell you about the surface. This is the anterior surface. This is the superior surface is here. This is the right lateral surface. And here it is on the back side of this. This is the posterior surface here. Okay, this is that posterior surface of the liver is there. So now you have understood different surfaces. Then I said that there is a large visceral surface. This is that large visceral surface. See this? Let it focus properly. This is the large visceral surface of the liver, okay? And this is sometimes also called as inferior, because when you keep it in anatomical position, this liver, okay, this is the inferior surface which is slightly concave, okay, it is concave. So this surface is called as the inferior or visceral surface. Why it is called visceral surface? Because it is in relation to the various abdominal viscera, okay, it is in relation to the various abdominal viscera. Now if we see a little detail of the inferior surface, then remember that this is the right side, this is the right side, this is the left side, this is the anterior side, and this is, we are seeing the inferior or visceral surface, okay, from below, okay, after turning it, okay, turning it. So what you will see here in the visceral surface, there is a prominent thing to see first is there is a fossa for the gallbladder. You can see this is the gallbladder applied into its fossa. This structure is nothing but the gallbladder, whose neck is going towards a structure called as porta hepatis. What is porta hepatis? It is the site from where the artery, veins and bile duct, they are going inside the liver or coming out from the liver. So vein and arteries and then the portal vein, this bile ducts, they are coming. So that area is called as the porta. So this is porta hepatis, okay. Now in this case, in this organ, liver, usually the fundus of the gallbladder, that is this part, okay, it should lie below the inferior border, okay, forming a cystic notch here, okay. So this should be under the cover of the gallbladder, fundus of the gallbladder. Then you can see here fissure for the ligamentum teres. You see here, okay, this is not complete, but this is the ligamentum teres, okay, which is also coming from a groove from the fissure here onto the inferior border, and this is the ligamentum teres which lies in the fissure for ligamentum teres, okay. So this is that fissure, okay. So there are other fissures also, more towards posterior surface, where I am putting my finger here in line with that of the fissure for ligamentum teres, okay. This fissure is called as fissure for ligamentum venosum. It is the fissure for ligamentum venosum, it's called as. Then here more towards the right, there is another groove, okay, or fissure, and which this, where I am putting my finger, is the inferior vena cava. See this finger in the posterior surface? So this fissure is there, and this is groove for the inferior vena cava. This is called as groove for the inferior vena cava. So what are the structures here? You are seeing the ligamentum teres and fissure for ligamentum teres. You are seeing the gallbladder fossa. You are seeing the porta hepatis. You are seeing the fissure for ligamentum venosum, and you are seeing a groove for the inferior vena cava, okay, inferior vena cava. Now this fissure for ligamentum teres, okay, here, which is continuous by the left side of this porta hepatis, and then it is continuous with the fissure for ligamentum venosum here, okay, venosum. This divides the liver into two anatomical lobes. On this side will be the left, which is a smaller part. This part is the left lobe of the liver, and this large part is the right lobe of the liver, which on the anterior surface, if we see the liver from anterior surface, this is the falciform ligament, okay. This is the falciform ligament, which is nothing but the double fold of the peritoneum, okay, which on its free margin will enclose the ligamentum teres. So this slightly stripped off, but this is the falciform ligament, and the attachment of falciform ligament is a little away from onto the left side, and comparison to the, in relation to the median plane. Okay, so this is the attachment of the fissure for falciform ligament. Okay, this on anterior surface divides the lobes into right and into the left. Left is a smaller lobe and right is the much bigger lobe. Okay, so I hope that you have understood the inferior surface, which is also called as the visceral surface. Now, after learning the surfaces of the liver, let us see the borders. Okay, now there is only one prominent border, that is called as inferior border, and it is a sharp border. It is a sharp border. If I start tracing my finger on the inferior border, see this is that inferior border going, okay, in the inferior, just onto the right lateral surface. Okay, this is same border is going from anterior surface to that of the right lateral surface is the inferior border. Here on anterior surface, this inferior border separates the anterior surface of liver with that of the inferior concave surface of the liver. So this is that border which is separating anterior surface with that of the inferior surface, and it is very sharp. You can see here it is very sharp border. But when here go to the right lateral surface and the inferior surface where inferior border is present, this border is rounded. It is not sharp. Okay, again it is separating inferior surface from that of the right lateral surface. Okay, right lateral surface. Now, in this inferior border, as I said, the two notches can be seen. One is this is for ligamentum teres. Okay, this ligamentum teres, this notch on the inferior border where falciform ligament is attached. Okay, up to this spine. So this is the one notch, and another notch is called a cystic notch, which in this organ is not there. Otherwise, this fundus should come and touch here to the inferior, and that is called as cystic notch. Now, if you see the posterior surface, then you will see that I said that on posterior surface there is a bare area of the liver onto the posterior surface of the right lobe, not onto the left, onto the right lobe, which is extending, okay, here just right to that of the inferior vena cava, groove for the inferior vena cava, and groove for the just little towards the visceral surface here also, okay, onto the right side. And this area is not covered by that of the, peritoneum. Okay, that's why it is called as the bare. This video you must be appreciating this rough area, but it's bare area, and this is the margin of that peritoneum which is not reflecting onto this bare area. See this margin of peritoneum? I hope you will be able to see this margin. And these are the layers of the coronary ligament, superior layer and inferior layer of coronary ligament, which on the right lobe here will come and meet to form the ligament here. Okay, this is the coronary ligaments are this, but this must be the triangular ligament. This must be called as the right triangular ligament, where the superior and that of the inferior layer of coronary ligament meets, and beyond which everything is covered by that of the peritoneum. I hope that this thing is clear to you. Once again, I will clear to you these fissures on the inferior. Just this was the fissure for ligamentum teres, and this was fissure for ligamentum venosum. So what you see here, and this is gallbladder fossa, and this is porta hepatis. So in between this ligamentum teres on to the left side, gallbladder fossa on right side, and this is the porta hepatis, and free inferior margin of this or border of the liver. This is a lobe. Okay, and this is the subdivision of the right lobe. Beyond this was the right lobe, and in this subdivision of right lobe, which lies left to the fossa of our gallbladder, is called as quadrate lobe. Okay, it is called as quadrate because it is rectangular. It is called as the quadrate lobe. So you are seeing the quadrate lobe here. Similarly, you will see another subdivision of the right lobe, which lies between fissure for ligamentum venosum and groove for the inferior vena cava. This lobe, okay, this is called as caudate lobe. This is called as caudate lobe, and if you will trace the caudate lobe more anteriorly, this will form a process, what is called as caudate process, and it is just lining to that of the porta hepatis. Okay, it is lining to the posteriorly to that of the porta hepatis. Okay, so now this part on the inferior surface, I hope are now clear to you. Okay, now let us go to the relation, okay, and relation of the superior surface. Let us see the various relation of superior. You can see this is the superior surface from the top, and you can see that there is a concavity in middle, and then again it, okay, become a raised area on right side as well as onto the left side. If you see it from anterior surface, you can also see a concavity here onto the superior surface. Okay, this is the area which is called as cardiac impression. It is in the middle part of the superior surface, and this depression or concavity is called as the cardiac impression. Why it is called as the cardiac impression? Because just above lies the central tendon of diaphragm, the parietal pericardium, and in which lies the heart, okay, in the pericardial cavity. So that all structures are related into this medial, so it is called as the cardiac impression. Okay, now on each side, right side and left side, this is in relation to the right and left dome of the diaphragm. Okay, thus this area of the superior surface on the right side as well as left side, they are separated from that of the pleura and the lung through the diaphragm. So intervening is the diaphragm, and then above this is the pleura and the lung. So they are related to the domes of the diaphragm, thus separating themselves from the pleura and the lungs. Now see the anterior relation, okay, or the anterior surface. This is the falciform ligament is here, which is in the midline, just left to the midline, and then the costal margins will be covering to the anterior surface from right side and to the left side. Okay, and here will be the Giffard process. Okay, so what is related to this anterior surface? Giffard process, and in between the costal margin, this area is related to the anterior abdominal wall in the median plane on either side of the anterior abdominal wall, and the Giffard process and costal margins. Okay, costal margins are related on anterior surface. Okay, then on anterior surface above the costal margin, it is related to the diaphragm. Okay, it is related, and thus it is separating, it's separated from through the diaphragm by the pleura. Okay, so on right side and left side, the pleural cavity of the thorax are there. Okay, but intervening is the diaphragm, which intimately this anterior on right and left side, the anterior surface is related. Okay, and in between is the falciform ligament, which is dividing the anterior surface into the left lobe and a larger right lobe. Okay, right lobe. Let us see the posterior surface first of the right lobe. See this? Okay, I hope you are able to see. This is the posterior surface of the right lobe. Okay, this is, which is having the bare area of the liver. Okay, and in this bare area, just close to the fissure for the inferior vena cava, there is a relation of the right suprarenal gland. Okay, on the bare area, it's the right suprarenal gland, and then just medial to it, I would say, just left to it, This is the fissure, and in this fissure lies the inferior vena cava. So these are the relation of the posterior surface onto the right lobe. Okay, it is onto the right lobe. Now let us see the relation of posterior surface of the left lobe. There is a groove here, you can see here. See this groove? Okay, onto the left lobe. This is the esophageal impression. This impression is that of the esophagus comes here, okay, and lies in relation. That means abdominal part of the esophagus, which is very small, and all of a sudden it will give rise to the fundus and the body of the stomach. Okay, fundus and the body of the stomach is there. Now let us see the relation of the right lateral surface. Okay, relation of the, so the relation of posterior surface are complete, and then we come to the relation which is a large area, quadrilateral area. See this, how large is the right lateral surface. Okay, you are seeing the complete right lateral. This was the anterior surface, and then I have turned it on to the right side to show you the right lateral surface of the liver. Okay, and this right lateral surface of the liver is naturally, it is in relation to that of the diaphragm on the right side, that is right dome of the diaphragm, then the right diaphragm here, and this is in relation to that of the 7th to that of the 11th rib, 7th to that of the 10th or 11th rib, 7 to the 10th rib. Okay, because the 11th is, it remains posteriorly only, and it is a floating rib. It is a floating rib. So this is the 7th to that of the 10th ribs. You can see the impression or grooves for the ribs. Can you see here the grooves for rib? And raised area are the intercostal spaces, must be related to the intercostal spaces. So in its upper 1/3 it is related to the diaphragm, then separating, diaphragm is separating it from pleura and the lower part of the lung, lower margin of the lung, in upper 1/3. In the middle 1/3, this right lateral surface is related only to the diaphragm and the pleura, costodiaphragmatic recess. And in the lower 1/3, this is only related to diaphragm. Okay, only related to. So the pleura and lung are not extending right up to the 10th. Here, thus they will not come in contact with the right lateral surface. This completes the relation of the right lateral surface. Let us come to the visceral surface or inferior surface relations. Okay, relations of the inferior surface. Okay, here we had seen that this was the esophageal impression on the posterior surface. Then this is the inferior surface of the left lobe of the liver. Okay, and there should be a protrusion here. You see this bump here. Okay, in the left lobe, this lobe, this bump is called as the tuber omental, which is in relation to the lesser omentum. That's why it is called tuber omental. The esophagus will all of a sudden become a fundus and the body of the stomach. Okay, body of the stomach. So this area, concave area, where I am putting my fingers, okay, this area after esophagus, this is the lesser omentum, which is coming from fissure for ligamentum venosum from the left margin of this porta hepatis. This is forming the lesser omentum, and here will be the lesser curvature, here will be the greater. So this is the gastric impression. It is the gastric impression. Now this is the left lobe. Okay, now from this ligamentum teres and fissure for this, we are going to the impressions, visceral impression onto that of the inferior surface of the right lobe. Okay, so this gastric impression I am hiding with my finger, so that then the pyloric part of the stomach will come here. Okay, this will be in relation to the pyloric part of the stomach. Now before that, you see this gallbladder impression. Okay, very easy. So there is a fossa for gallbladder or impression. This is the gallbladder where it will lie. So it is the fossa for gallbladder, in which gallbladder is there. Now this is that quadrate lobe. We have learned that this is the rectangular quadrate lobe, this part. Okay, this part. and this quadrate lobe is related to the pylorus and first part of the duodenum. Here will come the pylorus, then it will become duodenum here. So this will come to lie in relation to that of the pylorus and that of the first part of the duodenum. First part of the duodenum. Okay. Then on to the left side. Okay. Right to the fossa, not on left, but right to the fossa of our gallbladder. This impression, you see this? A separate impression is seen here. You see this? And this impression is the for the which is just to the right of the gallbladder fossa. It is related to the duodenum, and it is the second part of duodenum beginning. So the first part and then the second part is beginning. So it is again called as the duodenal impression. This is called as the duodenal impression. It is called here. Then below this duodenal impression, okay, here near the inferior margin, now this is related to that of the right colic flexor. What is right colic flexor? Ascending colon, then turns to that of the left side and becomes the transverse colon. But before it becomes transverse colon, there is a band, and this band is called as the right colic flexor. So this area will come in relation to that of the right colic. So it is called as colic impression. This is called as duodenal impression. Duodenal impressions. This will be called as the colic impression here. And just above the colic impression, there is a large concave area here. See this? See this concavity here? Large concave area here is there. And this is in relation to that of the kidney, right renal impression. This is called as right renal impression. And we have already learned that just right to the inferior vena cava grew into this bare area of the liver. This was the area for right suprarenal gland. So this is at the upper pole of the kidney. This is for the right suprarenal gland, this area, in bare area, okay? It is for the right suprarenal gland. So kidney, then the flexor of the colon or colic impression, it is called as the impression, colic impression. Then this is the duodenal impression, gallbladder impression, the pyloric impression, and this is for the gastric impression. Okay, in the left lobe is the gastric. These are the structures which are in relation to that of the inferior surface, and that is called as the visceral surface also. Okay, visceral surface also. Now this completes the relations of the liver. So you have learned the body, you have learned the various surfaces. You have learned one border, inferior border, and then you have learned the relation of the various surfaces. And I have also told you how to divide into the right and the left lobe, and what are the sublobe in the right lobe. That is quadrate and caudate lobes. Quadrate and caudate lobes are there. Now this completes the, general features. Okay, our demonstration part of the liver. I am not touching the theory part of the liver, just what examiner will ask you when you will be given this liver to explain, you can just explain. Now this will be the anatomical position of the liver. Okay, anatomical position. The anterior surface facing anteriorly, superior surface facing superiorly, inferior surface facing inferiorly, right lateral surface facing, and the posterior surface is hidden here. So you have to keep, if I will get the time, I will just show the relation, anatomical position of the liver in a separate video where the camera will be in front of me, okay, and then I will hold it. Thank you very much for watching this demonstration on to the viscera liver.